All right, the data is in. The leading US-based cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase says the number of Bitcoin users has now hit a record 27 million people in the United States, representing about 9% of the overall American population. Bitcoin is a snowball that continues to get bigger and bigger, and I want to put this in perspective for you. It was only 24 years ago, where people didn't realize the value that the internet had. They didn't realize why the internet was needed. And I think we're in the same place with Bitcoin today. So let's watch this clip, Late Night with David Letterman, about 24 years ago, where David playfully questions Bill Gates on whether this whole internet thing is truly revolutionary and what problems can it solve. See, Bill realized very early on the potential the internet had, and you know what? He profited immensely. David Letterman, on the other hand, he didn't take the risk early on, but, we all got to the same place. Like the video, support the channel, and check this out. That was only 24 years ago. A lot has happened with the internet in only 24 years. Let's continue with this article. Few transformative technologies have captured the public's interest and imagination as quickly as Bitcoin has in just 11 years. Email was invented in 1972, but it took until 1997 for adoption to surpass 10 million people. The television set was invented in 1927, but by the end of the 1940s, only 2% of American families owned one. Bitcoin has only been around 11 years. It has grown immensely. The reason I believe Bitcoin will continue to move a lot quicker than anything else is because it has the internet itself as a framework, as a groundwork to move. By the way, guys, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily, where you subscribe for our daily videos on everything going on with Bitcoin, crypto, the whole market. If you're getting value in this video, make sure you give it a big, big thumbs up. Let's read the rest of this article, and then we're going to jump into some price action because Bitcoin did have a little bit of a pump. So back to the article, the report also highlights the number of unique Bitcoin addresses on the network, which is now over 820,000, as well as the number of computers that power the network. Over 55,000 computers in 96 countries are running full nodes on the Bitcoin network. The report also looks at Bitcoin's future, citing the growth of the Lightning Network, which is a second layer solution designed to boost the speed of Bitcoin transactions. And then this article concludes, Bitcoin is the world's first global currency that harnesses the power of computers and humankind's need to innovate to enable the world's economic freedom. We are looking forward to what 2020 brings in Bitcoin adoption, innovation, and interest. You can check out the full report here. All right, before we jump into the price action, let's actually check out two more articles. This is another interesting, eye-opening study. Check this out. Genesis Mining has conducted a survey asking what the US dollar is backed by. Apparently, around 30% of the public believe that the dollar is still backed by gold. Here are the results. 30% of the public believes the dollar is backed by gold. 30% say the government backs it, 7% said nothing, 5% said bonds, 4.1% said oil, 23.6% said they had no idea. The results are interesting. The misconception about the US dollar seems to run deep, with almost a quarter of all people having no idea whatsoever on what backs it. Yet, as one Twitter user writes, 4.1% of Americans who responded with oil might be on a higher plane of thinking altogether. So the question is, for us Bitcoin holders, how does this help us? Well, overall it indicates how intuitive the idea is that a currency needs to be backed by something. Still, a large portion of the public is clinging to gold as a basis for understanding the dollar, which is sad because this has been defunct for decades now. This poll could prove useful for understanding how to best explain Bitcoin to someone. For example, educating the public on the dollar could easily be a segue to discussing alternatives like Bitcoin, like cryptocurrency. And I believe that is a true statement. Most people don't realize the true value of Bitcoin because they don't know the problem it solves. And they don't realize the problem it solves because they just don't realize how things work. They don't realize the problem. But something that I think, as long as Bitcoin continues to sustain, more and more people are going to look at Bitcoin, look into it, and ask the question, why is this still here? And why is this still going up in value? Before we get to the price, let's do one last piece of news. This is an interesting one. This is direct competition for all the altcoins who are directly going after enterprise solutions. So the problem is companies want to get involved with blockchain technology. They want to jump on the bandwagon, create their own token, but it's hard to create your own blockchain. There are certain altcoins like nulls, like you guys probably know. Let me know in the comments which altcoins are competing now with Microsoft, because Microsoft has unveiled a platform for minting enterprise-ready crypto tokens. Microsoft wants to build blockchain tokens in the cloud to be as easy as plugging in a printer. So this is called the Azure Blockchain Tokens platform. And this is the problem. Just like printers were once a pain to set up with a mishmash of printer types and their respective device-specific drivers, Gray, who is the principal architect at Microsoft, he says enterprise-oriented crypto tokens currently suffer the same pitfalls. You can go and buy a printer or any type of device now and just plug it in and it works. It is the same analogy here for tokens, and that's what we're building in Azure. So let's find out a little bit more on the specifics. Like what are examples of tokens? So the Azure Blockchain Tokens platform is being released alongside a host of example tokens. They range from a Hyperledger Fabric Fab token built by IBM to Santander's Bond token to a rewards token from Intel and Consensus and many more. Basically what Microsoft wants is for a tech team to say, I want one of these, and then Microsoft will be able to provide that thing. But Gray also wanted to make clear that this is not just a Microsoft thing. It is definitely not, he said. This includes IBM, R3, digital assets. We are partners with all of them. And then we conclude, the industry has suffered from an IBM versus Microsoft thing, Hyperledger versus Ethereum, and so on. And we're trying to break down those barriers. So Microsoft, I'm sure you can see, is quickly trying to become a trailblazer for enterprise-ready crypto token solutions. This is going to be interesting. I think this is bad for certain altcoins. This is direct competition, but this is really good for the crypto space in general, and you can see the way the world is moving. All right, without further ado, let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin pumped not just an hour ago. So you can see for the past week, basically, we've been consolidating around 9,200. And then just an hour ago, Bitcoin pumped about 4% almost. A little bit, well, the candle was about 3.4%, but from bottom to top, right here, local bottom, local top, it's about 5.7%. Well, a 5% pump is nothing for Bitcoin, obviously. The takeaway for me is we just broke past some resistance. So we'll see how this develops. This is, of course, a lot of people are seeing this as kind of a bull flag on the hour chart or the day chart, meaning that we might pump up. I, of course, like to look a little bit longer term. On the month chart, hey, guess what? We're also seeing a bull flag. So it's something to watch. That is it for me today, my friends. My name is Aaron. This is Altcoin Daily. If you got value in this video, take 2 seconds, give it a like, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to our channel for daily videos on everything going on in the cryptocurrency space. I will see you tomorrow.